Hey guys, and welcome to the video. Obviously, in this one, I'm going to talking about the doubleheader we have on Monday Night Football, where it is Jaguars Bills and then Bengals Washington. Overall, I think kind of interesting they're doing a doubleheader this early in the season. I guess I think it kind of fun, but here we are talking about these two matchups. We'll start off with Jaguars visiting the Bills up in Buffalo. Buffalo's favored in this game, obviously pummeling the Dolphins in the Thursday night football matchup that we saw, over a week ago now. And, with plenty of rest, being pretty healthy, I think this is a Buffalo team that is red hot right now and really trying to keep pace with the Chiefs. Obviously, they'll be playing on Monday night, whereas the Chiefs play on Sunday night football, and they'll know, more about whether or not they need to keep pace with the Chiefs for, potential number 1 seed hopes for the playoffs. And I know it's early, but with the way the Chiefs are playing and that sort of thing, I think this is a Bills team that realizes that our best shot is to, not give home field advantage to Kansas City. So I think that kind of plays a factor in this, as well as them seeing that Jacksonville has clearly struggled a lot in their first two games. So, I mean, Buffalo is favored, obviously. Looking at their team, very young, James Cook emerging as a star, very balanced offense, good weapons, and Josh Allen will be Josh Allen, having a very good amount of yards carried, passing, and just dominant on all facets. Jacksonville, as we know, had a breakdown week 1 against the Dolphins. Last week they lose against the Browns, in a game that was just overall kind of sloppy and really just not enough to get a win against a team that's a dominant defense. And I like Jacksonville, but I think that their scheme is pretty bad. They just can't seem to get over the hump of scoring more than 20 points. I think the defense, they got some players to help there, even though their defense has played soundly for years, the last few years, and I don't think that that's the problem. I think that they have good weapons and they have all the pieces they need. And I think that Lawrence plays well enough, to win. I just don't think that they get as many opportunities as they need down the field. And Buffalo has clearly shown that they are a very well coached team. Long story short, I think that Buffalo wins this game. I think they make it hard on Lawrence. And I think that they also are just operating very well offensively, and they're going to put up, a good number of points, even though the Jacksonville defense is a good and sound defense with nothing too flashy but sound fundamental football under Doug Peterson. So with the score for this game, I'm expecting the Bills to probably not score as much as they did against the Dolphins, but I'm predicting them to score 27 points, and I think Jacksonville is going to struggle, and I'm going to give them 16 points. So that is my prediction for Buffalo against Jacksonville. In Buffalo, of course. Now, looking ahead to the other game, we have Commanders Bengals. The Commanders beating the Giants last week in what was kind of a back and forwards game. Obviously, we know the Bengals played that nail biter against the Chiefs last week. So both teams coming off a game that was on Sunday. And yeah, both teams coming off a game that was on, that were both on Sundays. So no kind of advantage there in terms of days of rest and that sort of thing. And looking at, the Bengals, they played a very scrappy game that they, in all honesty, should have been able to win against Kansas City, but with a late penalty in the game to, to their defense of pass interference where he was clearly ahead of time. I they're clearly kind of kicking themselves after having such a good game plan and limiting the Kansas City offense. I think that they just really need to come in and show that kind of fire against every opponent, and they can start winning games. Obviously, it's still September, and people are always saying that they're not good in September and that sort of thing, but I do think that the fire is getting lit under these guys because of what is happening in their division and the potential for them to potentially take a lead if they actually harness their true potential. Because I think Burrow's throwing the ball well. The line is still kind of a question mark, to be honest with you. I think that, their downgrade at running back, I think that Zach Moss is kind of a spark plug and they maybe need to create more situations for him. But it's like, I think that overall they kind of need to cool it, lean on these tight ends like Burrow was doing in their last game to get open, like Gesicki and Drew Sample, most notably. I think that Jamar Chase will get his time, but I think he needs to be a bit more patient. And I think Iosivas is doing, sorry if I butchered that, is doing a good job as the third wideout. T. Higgins, it looks like, should finally be back in this game in a limited capacity, I'm assuming, to make sure that he doesn't get re injured. And I mean, the defense, I think, is playing very, very well for having a good number of injuries to them. So looking at this game, and obviously the Commanders, obviously led by Daniels, their rookie QB, Brian Robinson, running the football, somewhat effectively on this game, and then, Scary Terry being their best wide receiver. I think that overall this is a team that is just missing too many pieces, to be honest with you. I think that they have a good interior. I think that they have a good interior on their D line, but banged up ends, means that, yeah, they're probably not going to be forcing a ton of pressure from the outside. And that's just not going to be good when you're playing up against a guy like Burrow. And I think it's going to lead to them having a very strong passing attack. So, with that being said, I think that obviously, you're going to see a lot of outside runs from the Bengals in this game because of guys like Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen clogging up the middle, and it's going to be very hard for that sort of thing. And I think that you're going to see potentially some play action with Burrow, to get some easy looks on the outside to these tight ends to keep Burrow safe. Because I do think Payne and Allen can definitely force pressure up the middle as well. They can force pressure up the middle as well, on these guards of Cincinnati that are, to me, they're pretty shaky. I don't completely trust, Cordell Volson or Alex Kappa to be able to block, and Ted Karras, to block. And I think that is the major weakness of this O-line. So looking at this, I'm going to give the game to Cincinnati. I think that they do score quite a bit in this game, because of the pressure aspect. And I'm going to say that they're going to win 24-10 against a Commanders offense that is just lacking weapons to really have them score efficiently outside of Scary Terry and then Brian Robinson, being a decent running back. But I think the Bengals kind of learned what their run defense is last week against an attack that, with the Chiefs is a lot better than, what the Commanders have. So those are my predictions with the two Monday Night Football games. Let me know what you guys think. maybe you can ask me questions if you want in the comments, or you can leave your opinions and I'll tell you what I think regarding that. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.